Hello! If you're new here, my name is Chelsea. Welcome to my channel. Today's video is going to be all about finishing up our first year of kindergarten. And if you're wondering why first year of kindergarten, we'll talk about year 2 in a different video. But if you're interested in how our kindergarten year went, please stay tuned. And this is Nyx. He will probably be here majority of the video. Where to start? Let's go ahead and start off with math. If we were to follow a normal school year, my daughter would still be in preschool. My daughter has a late September birthday, so she actually doesn't even turn 5. She didn't turn 5 until late September. So if we were in the public school system, she wouldn't be starting kindergarten this year. She would actually be starting kindergarten next year. So that's one of the reasons why we're kind of deciding to just kind of continue on kindergarten, because why rush anything? I'd rather be ahead than behind, and so I'd rather just consider her still going into kindergarten this coming year. I digress. So we started the year off using dimensions. Now, if you watched my last video, we actually used dimensions for our Singapore dimensions for our preschool math. But after moving through this, the textbook and the workbook, I soon realized I didn't care for its straight mastery approach. I do like mastery because the program we moved into, if you watched any of my previous videos, it's still a mastery-based program. But the program we decided to move into and the program we finished the year off with does have a lot more spiral review within the program itself, I felt like. So we started off the year with Kindergarten KA from Singapore Dimensions, and we finished off the year with Math with Confidence. I love this program. I love the games. I love the hands-on activities. I love the manipulatives of it. There are, I feel like, a little bit lacking in how much of the workbook pages I personally would like to have. I feel like it's not rigorous enough for me and our family, so I am going to be adding to this next year. We're going to be continuing on with Math with Confidence, as you'll see in my next video, but we're going to be adding on some things to make this a little bit more rigorous. Math with Confidence was great. We finished the entire program. We loved it, and we will be moving on. Let's go ahead and move on to the language arts portion now of our, I would call it like K1 year. Language arts was a lot, and if you are in the kindergarten years, language arts is going to be probably a majority of your program, especially when you're teaching your kid phonics and how to read, which is a huge part of this year. So we started the year off the Good and the Beautiful preschool course book. So I think in my last video, we did use all about reading preschool. I didn't feel like it gave us enough of a foundation. So we moved into this program at the beginning of the year. It gave us that foundation that I was really looking for. So we either moved into this in the beginning of the year or we finished this off the beginning of this year. But this is something that we finished and completed this year. Along with this program, we did use Explode the Code. Now, I have Explode the Code 1. Throughout this year, we finished the program Get Ready, Get Set, Go for the Code. I don't have those books any longer, but we did those at the beginning half of this year. So we'll call that like the fall semester. And we moved into this book in the spring semester. Now we haven't finished this one. We've actually slowed down on it quite a bit because it moves into a lot kind of like of spelling. So here's an unfinished page, for example. And some of the I wouldn't even see this. I would think chair if I saw this, but it's based on, I think, I don't even keep just looking at this, but tip, you would have to write it. And then tree, or it might be hid, because I think drip, zip, bug, web, maybe. But I don't have a teacher's guide for this. It makes it a little challenging to know. But I think it's working on the short I's here. So based off of what I know we're working on. But again, I don't want her having to write and think about all of these words and how to write, spell, read. I mostly just want the reading aspect of it. So like the pages like this where she's reading the sentence and trying to match the sentence to the picture, I like these. So we've kind of slowed down, skipped around on this. I am still loving the Explode the Code series, and I do plan on continuing it. I have Explode the Code 1 through 4, I think, already purchased. So we'll be continuing with this, but this is something that we did along in tandem with our the Good and the Beautiful program. After we finished the Good and the Beautiful preschool workbook, I felt like we still needed a little bit more work, so we moved into the kindergarten prep. Do you need this? I don't know. This is very vowel heavy, this kindergarten prep program. I think it made a perfect little buffer going into the Good and the Beautiful language arts program level K. But I think there's other ways still to get what I got out of this book. I don't think it's perfect. I think we skipped, again, a lot of stuff within it. We did like these kind of activities. So like the cutting and the pasting and spelling, like this was working on end sounds of a word. It really did help hammer in the letter sounds and completing those. So I did like it. Would I use it again? Unsure, to be determined. It's a so-so. This is a so-so. I like this one. I really did like this one in conjunction with Explode the Code. I would use this again, even as a secular mom. I would use this again. Kindergarten prep, so-so. After that, we were like, okay, where do I go from here? I bought a ton of programs. I think I bought the Ordinary Parent's Guide to Reading. I was looking at Under the Home. I was looking at, and I had a mom friend donate the entire All About Reading program. I have all of it here, the activities. I have those sheets. I have the books. I have it all. I think she's still too young for this personally. And I have the flashcards too. I did still use a lot of the letter tiles in other ways to incorporate. I want to still bring this in. I want to still bring this in some kind of way. I almost prefer just using these. I even made like a little book of like level 1 fluency sheets. I think I got this off of somewhere on Google, this pre-made sheet. And just using these for fluency and just reading to build that letter fluency. I'd prefer that because this is just a little overwhelming and kind of just helping and giving me the steps. But we tried it and I didn't want to stick with it. So we went back to the Good and the Beautiful. So as you can tell, this is Unit 1. If you've used Good and Beautiful before, the whole book is pretty hefty. I have it somewhere on our shelf. So I broke it into just Unit 1. We were able to finish Unit 1 in the spring semester of this year. So we did finish it just in time. Now we still have Unit 2 and Unit 3 of this program that we're probably going to finish going into next year. But I do still see a lot of gaps that I'm having to fill. But no curriculum is going to be perfect. So what we're doing this summer is I'm just going to be hard reviewing a lot of the stuff that we learned in this to really master the stuff that was in this program. Doing great with her letter sounds and blending. I just want her to feel a little bit more confident in them and a little bit faster before we move forward into anything like consonant blends and digraphs and so on. So that's where we're at with this. But we did finish Unit 1 of Kindergarten Language Arts Good and Beautiful. Handwriting. So when we were doing I don't have it with me, but I did use I'll put a picture here, the Good and Beautiful Doodles book. We did complete that. She absolutely loved that. I will definitely be doing that again. She would just grab her little book and just draw and trace and have fun with it. I think she went through it way faster than I was expecting. So when it got time to move on, I was like, I don't have anything for you. So I ended up creating something for a little bit. So a little handwriting notebook I created for her. What we were doing here is I tried at first Under the Home. I printed some of this off and she would just look at it and feel super overwhelmed. So when I was trying the Under the Home reading program, I printed this off as one option. And then I also printed off these, and what we're doing here is when we're working on and trialing the All About Reading program, I would write what we were working on and then she would write on her own. This is the beginning of the year. Her handwriting has drastically improved since here, and I will show you what program we moved on to. So I would say this was probably more so in the fall semester of her K1 TK year. So this is what we did. There was a few sheets, so like we did a decent amount worth, like moving on for this like kind of DIY handwriting program. And then we moved into Handwriting Without Tears. Do I like this program? Yes. Do I love it? No. Am I trying something different? Yes. So if you're interested in what we're gonna be trying different, you're gonna have to stay tuned for the next video that I'm probably gonna film right after this. Big thing that I don't like about Handwriting Without Tears is their lines. So as you can see, they have the top line and the bottom line, and students are expected, if there's a two-story, I call it two-story letter, it goes out of the line. Now, when they're writing in books and journals and stuff, they don't go out of the line. So this is meant to represent that dash line for beginner handwriting books. And I don't like that. I don't like the format of the two lines. I'm sure there's some rhyme or reason to it that I don't know, but personally it's not for me. It's not my style. And then towards the end of the book, I might have gotten accidentally one grade ahead for her. It started doing full sentences, and I don't know why she put a slash here, but I had to start putting like yellow lines to separate the words to kind of like help her keep them closer together. Yeah, I didn't love this program. So we are going to be moving on to a different handwriting program for next year just to continue our practice. It was okay. Handwriting Without Tears. Moving on to science, I got 2 units from the Little Hearts and Hands. We got the Bones and Stones unit, which we did in the fall. Oh, he's clawing me. So Bones and Stones was the unit we did not finish, but we incorporated it in the fall. And then we did Nest and Burrows. Ow. Oh, Nix. And then we incorporated Nest and Burrows as our spring unit. This is another program. Did I love it? No. It was so-so. I probably wouldn't buy it again, probably wouldn't do it again. I think my child learned more from just being outside. We go on daily 4-wheeler rides, and I think we learn more of like, oh, look, there's a lot of snakes outside. And we notice just by nature study that snakes come out in the spring, and there's a lot more tadpoles, and like, we have a lot of cardinals where we live, and we notice the cardinals disappear in the fall, winter, and that just brought up natural conversations of migration, and then just other things. I feel like we learned a lot more from just being outside in nature. I do have a book that could help with that and giving topics, but my family, we're outside a ton. We live in the country. I don't feel like a super science unit is required at this age. So I didn't finish the whole series. I don't plan to pick it back up. It was cute. I wouldn't do it again. Technically 2 programs that were so-so was Build Your Library and Torchlight. So if you saw, I made another video of how we were gonna be doing Build Your Library and Torchlight combination. I loved the books that were given from, I'm gonna put both programs here, just to make it easier so I'm not like holding this up the whole time. Printing it also was kind of pointless. I didn't use this binder at all. I had the PDF on my phone, and I would just look in bed the night before at what was on the list to do and what books I needed, and that was a lot easier. I also have Hoopla and Libby on my phone, so I would just kind of pre-order the books on my phone, stream them to the TV, and read from the TV. That made my life a lot easier than having to drive to the library, pick up the books, wait for the books. So if you have those options, I highly suggest Libby or Hoopla, and then live streaming from your phone, like screen sharing from your phone to your TV if that's possible. I only did and according to this book, I pretty much only followed the scope and sequence. I used it for ideas. So I followed the order of the countries that we would be going in. So like we start with North America, South America, Europe, Africa, so forth. I followed the order suggested, and then I used the books that were in it. Everything else, the art activities, some of the spines, I didn't really use the spines as much as I probably should have. I think these programs could have been done a lot better with supplementary worksheets. I know some people say worksheets are pointless. They don't like worksheets at this age. even in a coloring book, even if they were just more graphic coloring books that were organized in an easier way for me to find, I think I would have liked that better. So like, for example, this is the Torchlight curriculum. This is a Torchlight sample of, you're supposed to do it like an animal spotlight. My kindergartner is not going to do any of this. It's supposed to be like color in the habitat, and is it a vertebrate, invertebrate, all of this stuff. We would more so just talk about animals, watch some wildcat videos that related to where we were learning about. And we love the videos about how kids get to school. So there's videos that you can search about like dangerous ways to school. And so anytime we came to a country where it was a dangerous way to school, we loved watching those videos. So just incorporating the countries and learning about them in different ways. The main thing I did like about Build Your Library and Torchlight were just the book lists. The book lists and the extension opportunities of like videos and movies and stuff like that. I really liked it. Other than that, that's all I used from them. So I think that is it for our, I'm gonna call it transitional kindergarten year. We did a lot. So I'm like, I have everything laid out on the floor, and it's really fun to look at where her handwriting started and where it ended, where her math started, where we ended, where her reading started and where we ended. It's fun to see the progress and know that we are getting there, because at the end of the year, I can just feel like, oh, the burnout is real. I don't know about you guys, but that's how I'm feeling. So if you are interested in what we'll be using next year, so in our first actual full kindergarten year, we're going to be incorporating a lot of first grade materials mixed with kindergarten materials. So if you're interested in that, stay tuned for the next video. Hit that subscribe button. Leave a comment. What was your biggest hit this year for curriculum, and what was your biggest miss? Let me know. I'm interested to hear from you guys. And until next time, bye.